Welcome.
Welcome to the 31 Forever podcast. 31 Flavors, legendary hip hop crew out of Detroit. And why is it legendary? Why would it be legendary? I'm gonna ask easy. Why would it be legendary?
Because we in it.
That's good enough. That's good enough. That's what I'm saying. Legends. We perform.
Because we in it, bro.
We in it. We in it. We performed all throughout Detroit. 80s, 90s. Started in basements and attics, cassette recorders, turntables, grandma's turntables, Casio SK17 keyboard. Till we upgraded. You know, best times of our lives. Say again.
So now we on machine. Read.
On this show, we put the band back together. We bringing people back together from the scene in the 90s, 2000s. And I believe we're on a mission from God. You know what I'm saying? My name is Shannon Cason AKA the E apostrophe S. Yes, God bless. I'm here with my boy.
What up, though? It's your man, Christopher Lee, AKA Chris Lee, the freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? AKA Christopher Lee Esquire.
Esquire, you a third or a second?
AKA School You.
Who you?
Nigga 5-row.
You know, Devo.
Nah, I say nigga 5.
Bro.
You supposed to know that. There you go, bro. He just don't know about the hip hop.
Pig
Hip hop gang.
He said the pig. Nah, not even the sorority, fraternity. There you go. My fault. I didn't.
I hope it's not.
I don't have the collegiate. We was on some best buddies type stuff. I don't know nothing about that. I put my age out there. We was on best buddies. But nah.
With your award tour, I see there. Ease.
Yo, you got to get your introduction, D.
What up, though? It's Nasty. D Nasty. Freshman Beats. That's what I'm going to be while we in the Beat Club University.
Freshman Beats.
You feel me? Trying to get the
there he is.
How you going to be a 45-year-old freshman, man? What's going on here?
Hey,
what's happening?
School is you always in school. You forever learn.
I'm about to say, how you going to knock them? They had a 100-year-old lady graduate college.
Yeah, this, man. We got to knock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can I live?
I got a leg up. I'm seasoned.
So what's going on?
I'm seasoned, so I'm able to kind of maneuver like that. I can jump in a little bit with my you know what I'm saying, a little bit ahead of the track.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, man. I didn't caught a sneak peek of some of the shit that you've been dropping, as far as on the beat side of things, and I must say I was impressed. I was, you know, I didn't know who it was from. I asked who the beat is, and I was told, and you're doing good shit, man. So keep on at it. Actually, but that's a lot of stuff we're talking about in the topic today. You know what I'm saying? When and we got somebody else who on a vibe right now. You know, I know we go get into that, but Freak is on a vibe right now, making some classical stuff. So. No doubt. How we usually do the show is we do we do like different topics. So we do current events, and then we talk about a topic. Today's topic, we're gonna talk about creative blocks, how you get through them, how you fight through them, or how you get to the other side to get to your creative self. And then top 5, we'll talk about a top 5. I was thinking prolific, like the top 5 prolific artists that we know, like prolific, I would say. We can get into it, but like Tupac was prolific in some ways. He put out a lot of
right.
time that he was around.
Put out a lot of material.
Yeah. But what's going on current event wise? Let's get into this.
Let's get into let's get into what everybody been into this week.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. My fault. That's probably where you were going. But what everybody get into this weekend, man? Who wanna step up? Class, raise their hand.
I was sick as a motherfucker all week. Man.
You look like you got on a hospital shirt or something.
Fuck that is, I got the George Jefferson out and everything. I got the hat and everything. You know, this is.
He said the George Jefferson out.
You know, ain't like you get what I'm saying. So, but I was sick. I was sick as a dog all weekend. I got these kids. We got all these kids at the house, and all of them are coughing.
That's what did it. You kids got super germs.
My daughter was sick. Then Cindy was sick. My wife, and then it got me. I thought I was immune, but it got me on Saturday and Sunday. I was out of it.
That's the worst.
I mean,
I'm sorry to hear that.
It just stayed in the bed the whole time.
Yeah, man, that's the worst. I feel you. I ain't get sick, but I had that. I don't know if y'all up on the honeydew, but I had that honeydew list. So my wife started me off early. Really, too. I came front like I had back catalogs, so I ain't gonna act like it was just her. But so I tried to knock out multiple things while I was in motion. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about, hey, I got the bruises to prove it, boy. I tried to be like Tim the Two Man Taylor. That's exactly what I was. Who my son is, he was the other dude. He was the bearded dude, like real tough. But nah, man. So that then too, you know, my partner JD, he had a little pool party. And I'm thinking, I went to one of them, but it got rained out, and it was enjoyable. I think we talked about it in the podcast. We had a good time. So this was another one.
Damn,
well,
you
I tell you
it up. You like Vegas life, huh?
But this is just my partners. Like this is just my man, and how he, you know, it ain't like we out here. You know, well, it did happen to be this time though. He got a nice pool and a nice house.
See the Bootsy pool parties and shit. I'm down with that, man. I got to come out that way.
If you got the venue though, and I don't know, but it was nice. It was interesting. We had a good, and then it was different because Cats was playing like Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I'm thinking they playing spades. I walk up like, oh, what y'all? And these dudes was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but it wasn't like no nerdy dudes. You know what I'm saying? These look like some real thug dudes. Like,
what is
Yu-Gi-Oh? Like Pokemon.
Oh,
like a card game.
That's the thing now. Instead of spades and dominoes, they was playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, I mean, they had spades and dominoes too, though. Don't get me. Let me not say it like it was just so weird. Like niggas was in costumes with spells and cauldrons. I ain't saying it like that. But it's different because it's another. It was a younger crowd too. Let's just say it like that. So you know, there was that element of just doing it different. Like, okay, y'all play spades. This is what we into. I respect it. I thought it was dope.
I like that too. I'm just, you know, you got to talk about it, but
no doubt, because that's how we look at it for real. Like, if we said that in an average group of cats, they would be like, they did what? Y'all was playing who's you what?
Really, don't you? I kind of don't like that though. Like sometimes when you be around certain people and they so stuck on one way to be that you can't do nothing. Like you can even have some different beers. The fuck is these beers, man? This shit ain't
Bud Light, and it be some beer that the one they like be whack. Like this ain't Michelob. Like
you be like
Michelob,
no more.
What about you, D?
I did what did I do, man? Saturday I was trying to create, so I've been on this vibe too. We've been trying to, you know, just get inspiration from the fellas, you know, hook back up with the fellas. So I know Friday I linked was it Friday that me and Beach connected? Me and Beach, we did a song.
Hey baby. I'm sorry.
Then let's see what
good.
Saturday I hooked up with Juan and Granddaddy, you know, Swing. And we was all trying to vibe out. You know, Swing's birthday just passed or whatever, so he caught a vibe or whatever.
Yeah.
Nephews, went to the nephew's graduation on Sunday. You feel me? You know what I mean?
The tiki boat, right? You said on the tiki boat.
Yeah, on a tiki boat.
Not to, I hope I ain't putting you at too much, but that's hot though. Like that's what I'm looking at. Like Detroit got that, and that's sweet. You can jump on a tiki boat and drink while the dude take you around. Y'all basically at a bar. You know, so you basically had a floating bar. Yeah, man.
It was a BYOB, but you know, we had plenty of that, you know what I mean? But it was good, man, to see stuff off the water, and you know, we got to see like some dope cribs. I didn't know that you know, like Kid Rock, I saw his house off the water, and
the mayor.
Yeah, he had a spot down there, you feel me?
Eminem. You're right. Yeah, exactly.
It was nice. Saw the old Pablo boat or whatever, you feel me? That was burnt up, you know what I mean? Heard the plan about that.
Yeah. We about to try to come home and take advantage of quite a bit of that. I'm just gonna put that. I'm gonna leave that at that. But when that happens, we'll let the world know. But we about to come home and take advantage of.
Oh, you and your family coming out?
Some of that scenery. Oh no, I'm talking about but I'm talking about it on the even what we're talking about. This what we do. This life we live. You know, Detroit has great. In Georgia, you can't just no disrespect. You can't just go jump on some water, but you're gonna get on like Lake Lanier, and Lake Lanier is like Camp Crystal Lake. Like I swear to you,
some crazy shit went on for the history of it.
That's the one where they flooded a black town. They flooded a black town to make this lake. They wanted a lake, so I don't know the rest. You can study up yourself, but look up Lake Lanier.
Yeah, I heard about
and you'll know there's actually a town under there. So crazy stuff.
Man, wow.
But people die out there all the time, so I don't know. I don't know what everybody believes in, but that's crazy. Like people die. I don't go there. I'm not messing with it. Long story short, but Detroit, I feel comfortable. Then you got the Canada, you got both. You know what I mean? So it's hot.
It's a good life, man. It's a good life, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, and then that's home for you too. So you used to, you know what I mean. You know what's around. You know what I mean. So it'd be good to, like you said, come back home. It's always good to do that. So.
It's untapped too, though. You know what I mean? Like it's untapped. Ain't nobody out here. Let me stop talking about it right before it get tapped. But anyway, on to that. That transition takes us to, you know what I'm saying, current events. So yeah, this week, man.
Do it the same way all the time, but I feel that. So yeah, the current shit is that chick, the Biles chick. What you think about that?
The who?
The gymnast.
Oh yeah, we yeah. What you think? We spoke on it. He talking about Simone Biles. Now you said Simone Biles. What about it?
Oh no,
I hear about that.
He has sports head though. He gonna bring us into it. Bring us into.
Yeah, I hear about that. Bring us in, baby.
She basically, you know, she's a top gymnast, been Olympic reigning champion. So I believe this is the official Olympic, and she, from what I hear, I didn't really get too big into the story. It sounded like she wasn't feeling like her best self, and she decided to not part. You know, she kind of stopped at the decline, that withdrew herself at the last minute.
Now, is that Simone Biles or are you talking about Naomi Osaka?
Yeah, Simone Biles.
Oh wow! Because you know Naomi just did that for the tennis joint, so that's interesting.
It says Simone Biles says she wasn't in the right place mentally during the Olympic final.
Wow.
Said she was not in a good place, so whatever.
So what she do? She tapped out?
Yeah, basically she tapped out.
Yo, shouts out to that though, for your mental health and everybody. You know what I mean? That's crazy because you on the world front, the world stage, or something so big, and people gonna say what they gonna say.
Well, I'm curious.
Some people killing her for it.
I know they are.
What's your thoughts on it? Because I know you heavy in the sports. You know what I'm saying? Is this a good look or
this isn't? So this is a different sport. This sport here is it's Team USA, Team Country, but it's an individual, you know, kind of thing a little bit. So to me, I mean, she didn't represent it. It ain't like she ain't represented. So if she felt like she ain't have it, and I feel that's big of her to do that because she knows who she is also, and she knows the kind of scrutiny that's going to come with that as well. So I think that if she felt like she couldn't do it, she just couldn't do it, and she was willing enough to take that, then you know she didn't put on for the city, so she didn't, or the country or whatever.
She done did what she's supposed to do a long time. She done proved herself. She has no more to prove. And then on top of that, who knows? Maybe she'll come back. The Olympics seem weird to me right now, anyway. Like,
it's
weird.
This
is weird. So
it don't even feel like I'm not even
like
a different kind of whole feel. I know it's on. I watch it when it's, you know, I put it on the TV, but I'm not like, you know, like you're waiting for specific people or something like that. Which, you know, I haven't been following everybody, so I might be, you know, in the minority. I don't know.
And there's some great stories. Like my man, I think they were swimmers. I can't. Let me not, you know, but the dude won. They all won, but they couldn't all get their medals because somebody's medal wasn't. So he gave dude who couldn't get his medal. He gave him his medal. He like, okay, they said you'll get it tomorrow. Let him experience what it feels like. and gave him. I thought that was a great selfless story. Like that, okay, that's dope. And they asked him, "Well, are you gonna take it back after the cameras?" And he like, "No, he gonna keep it. I'll get mine tomorrow or whenever he was supposed to get his. It's all good. That's his now. I'm not tripping." So I thought that was, salute to that man for doing that. So it's a lot of stories coming out like that, but me just sitting there watching, and it's no crowd and no hype, and where it's being held, they got so many rules and regulations, and the way I don't know.
Let's show honor. We had the grand one has shown up in the building. The grand one.
It's the Grand
Kanye Einstein, AKA.
What's going on, y'all?
And he's grand. What up, though?
What's the deal with y'all, man?
Can't call it, man. We over here talking sports and Olympics and
huh?
And drug trials and whatever.
I feel like I
that was on there too.
What's that?
What'd you do this weekend?
Word.
Oh, what you do this weekend? Okay.
Yeah, what you been up to, Juan? We ain't talked to you in a second, man.
I know, man. I bet.
What's going on with you, man? I know you're a busy man and family man and everything.
Yeah, man. Yeah, just been kicking it with the young man. You know what I'm saying? With the young prodigy and
the young prodigy.
Yeah, and
I love it.
Trying to spend as much time with him during the summertime months that I can.
He is making.
Huh?
Yeah. He said, "Young prodigy." I said, "Yeah, he is making beats."
Yeah, man. He got the B apps on the iPad. He was just over here getting his finger drumming on.
I love it. You put him in the game. Real daddies do real things. He's starting early, but with the knowledge. So it's interesting in itself.
Yeah,
that you get to pass and impart that on to somebody.
Getting them set for that, man. Pretty much, not much, man. We had a boy weekend. He had all his god cousins over, and they did the thing. Skating reminded me of back in the day when we used to get dropped off at Wheels or Northland, and homeboys trying to squeeze up.
But, Mac, trying to be a Mac.
Yeah, they're a little young for the Macking, but they was out there looking like young players, 8-year-old, couple more years, they be monsters or something.
It changed quick.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. Yeah, you said they're a little too young. I don't know, man.
8 years old, I wasn't really thinking about Macking at 8.
Your son probably got a couple of them on his coattails.
He didn't love the women since he couldn't even talk. He had recognized that he had a special gift.
A shout out, one of my homegirls, and she her name Crystal, But anyway, she works at the airport. Said somebody was getting off, a little boy was getting off the plane and smacked that. I almost wanted to say, I guess I understand.
The ass?
Yeah, like these kids is, he said the mama got on his head and all that, but.
Yeah, he been watching somebody smacking his mama ass. That's what
I can't say I don't. And but that she's a stranger. She worked there, like she could have wilded out. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
One thing I realized, man, at this age, the kids, all they are is like gigantic sponges. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
They just soak up game. You know what I mean?
He saw that somewhere.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Other than that, man, just cool and been making a little music. I haven't recorded no vocals, but I've been trying to be, persistent with these beats, man. Started messing around with the updated Serato Studio, and I'm really liking that, man. I'm really feeling that shit. Just trying to get the creative juices out.
And that's
we
what
might have to do that, man.
We're gonna talk about creative when we hit blocks, how we get through it and stuff like that. I'm curious on everybody's level. I don't know. We might have talked about it before, but kind of go deep into it. What anything else in the news, man?
Yeah, man. Your boy Dr. Dre. So that's one thing. A couple things actually with Dr. Dre, but his wife, they've been separated or whatever, and she just recently was awarded $300,000 a month spousal support. And it's funny because the article I read, they were saying that she was asking $2 million, so he probably might be happy with 300 because she was shooting for $2 million. You know what I mean? But I'm just curious as to what's your opinions, views on that.
If she was shooting for $2 million and got 300,000, that is a pretty good. I mean, you think about it, $2 million is a hit. So
Right.
so 300,000 probably isn't as bad. And then, I think California has a whole different set of divorce laws, and if they didn't have a prenup, but you think about it, okay, what is Dr. Dre worth? Because a lot of
Right.
people are saying that, man, that's too much. Who needs that much money? That she was around for a lot of stuff. You get what I'm saying?
That's true, no doubt.
Shit.
There you go.
In my mind, when I think about it, like I think about like money. Okay, so if he worth 800 million, which they 500, say 500 million. He worth $500 million.
Right.
You got to pay 3.6 million a year to the lady. That might be, an investment interest on something. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. You get what I don't know. I don't, because we can put that in the terms, and like I used to work at Neiman Marcus in Saks Fifth Avenue, and they used to say, don't spend with my own pocketbook. Like if I had somebody come into the store, I can't look at a sweater and say, why would this motherfucker pay $10,000 for this sweater? Don't look at that. Don't spend. Don't shop for customers with my pocketbook. So I'm saying, like, when I'm looking at 3.6 million a year to his old lady, I'm like, that's crazy. I wouldn't,
Well, what did that say about his pockets? Like you said,
but I don't know if he
for
got
her to even say, I want 2 million, right? Look, I want 2 million, and that's sensible to get 3. Hey, it's a lot of money.
He happy with that deal. I don't know if he is or not.
I mean, he ain't happy. I'm sure he's not happy.
Probably right.
There's no way the word happy is. But he might be like, yeah, you're right. Like, okay, I can deal with that.
I think he is happy though. If you done got her down from 2 million annually to 300,000, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a couple of them 300,000 to get to a 2 million, you know what I mean? So you definitely rejoicing on that victory. And then, that's the equivalent of probably, $300 to somebody that's worth, billion, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy though, really, when you think about it.
Yeah.
No, what's crazy, hold on, not to cut you off. What's crazy is what I was thinking is, you don't know her background, and as E said, she's been there, right? He has. Definitely been there. But when you're able to negotiate terms, you know what I'm saying, on money that's with another name, that even though y'all are a union, that's just it's a weird conversation thought process. She's the one now navigating your income.
Yeah. Let Juan get that. Go ahead, Juan.
No, I just wanted to clarify a point. She's getting 300,000 a month.
A month.
Okay.
A month.
It is month. Right? I thought you said a year, but yeah,
a month.
I thought you said a year too. I was like, damn.
I may have. I mean, you know what I mean.
I was about to say, how did he get it from 2.2 million a year to 300,000 a year? That's like a huge jump. But if that was she was getting 2.2 something a month, right?
Yeah, that's what it was.
She was. Oh, then that is a come on. Was she already getting the 2 something?
Yeah, she was getting. That was the original thing.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
That was ridiculous. Right. Yeah.
So that's like child support reduction. I don't
care how long you've been in here. Did
you
write easy raps?
I didn't want to say that, but
I didn't want to say one.
Yeah, that's
like, bitch, did you write easy raps? Did you
did you write easy raps? Was you in the studio doing turn off the lights?
Why would I give you $2.2 billion a month?
You ain't touched.
You didn't express yourself.
Talk about because
are the kids grown? I mean, kids are
living this way.
Are the kids grown? Aren't the kids grown? I mean,
it's her lifestyle, man. Don't hate on her lifestyle. Her lifestyle is $2 million
a month. Of a lifestyle, $300,000 a month.
You ain't lying. I wish I had that lifestyle. $300,000 a month.
She ain't gonna be slacking.
I don't understand. Why is she getting paid? I thought that was just for baby. But
you know what? Ease made a valid point though, because all of us, like, you've been with your wife X amount of years, and she's held it down, and she's done what she's supposed to do. Then maybe that's nothing, and he probably knows that I'm not gonna send her back to the hood if he loves her like that. So
relationships is always tough. You get what I'm saying? Because nobody knows what goes on in relationships. You get what I'm saying? Nobody knows what deals people made with one another behind closed doors in relationships and stuff. So it's just like, because sometimes you can have something like, okay, babe, you get the house, you get this, and I'm gonna go fuck these bitches. I'm gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? People be making
you don't know.
And stuff.
Yeah, you ever watch the couples retreat? Michael Blackson and his wife. Michael Blackson and his wife is.
He just got married. I think he get married.
They swingers though. Like he'd be like, she be complaining like, yeah, you want to bring 3 or 4 women into the bedroom, and he like, we've been doing that, and she like, yeah, but I'm tired of it now. So it's like, that's the dialogue. That's what's crazy.
So you never know what's going on.
You never know.
You know they everybody putting everything all out there now, but you never know. So 3.6 seemed like a lot, but I don't know what's in that man's pocket. If he got $1 billion, 3.6 might not even be a big stretch for him because 3.6.
What is the payment for? I need to know what are we paying for? What is that for?
To support her lifestyle, and it's called support, spousal, because she's been with you. So like, let's say right now you balling out, you treating your girl.
That's terms of the divorce agreement.
I'm gonna tell you something ill too, because I think they had some kind of prenup, and I don't know what was in the prenup. My boy Nitso, what up, dude? I don't know what was in the prenup or none of that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, whatever was in it, she could ask for $2 million. So
hey, we get fucked anytime that paperwork come around. We go take a hit at some point, even when we are happy and we. Like, man, she didn't help me down. She bailed me out. When I needed her, she was there. And I'm gonna go ahead and sign this paperwork. And I know some of us probably going through that now. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna end up.
Gonna end up a whole nother. Y'all got me sweating just thinking about it.
We gonna be like this, and trust me, it's two married guys in here can tell you it's going.
At least.
But I'm saying as my stature increases, right? So as maybe I amass some more stuff, and I'm getting more money. So then we have to, after that contractual year, does it come back to terms that she can come and renegotiate that? And get a.
Well, that sounds like, from what Juan told us, that was a renegotiation. So I'm even with anything, you can go back and forth, because Drake could make less money in a year and come back and say, hey, I made X amount, I can't pay that. So that is what that is. But I think even a shout out to Dre and the fact that they can even take that much from him shows, and he deserves, every bit of that. But I'm just saying, he getting that bread, brother, to even be able to do that. I would hate to say, please, excuse me if this comes out later. Don't punch me in my face or whatever. But if it brings out another album, give her $2 million. You know what I'm saying? Give her
that might be a reason people be holding back sometimes too, because they like Detox and like he might be like. I don't know. Sometimes your creativity might spring from these kind of, he breaks now these changes in his life, and he might hit us with some new music and shit.
That might be worth it. Or just to say,
I'm not even talking about her. I'm talking about the circumstance, like as a person, and that can go either way. As a female, because it might be Oprah Winfrey to somebody else. I mean, like, are you able to terms and just renegotiate that based on?
They probably, I'm sure you can go back to court as many times as you want. There's fees and everything involved, but you can go back to court and try to renegotiate. Yeah, alimony. That's basically what it is.
I feel that's an interesting conversation, though, that you can. That's what I'm saying. That you can initiate that conversation.
I would hope,
and he's the one that's doing it.
I would hope that somebody say what we say to Dre. Somebody who in Dre ears say to Dre, "Hey man, why don't you go ahead and make an album, and that little $3 million you got to pay her. Put that album out, Dr. Dre, and that $3-4 million you pay her, you can get it from that album." And he'd be like, you know what? You're right. I got some heat up. And Dre put out an album. Anything to make Dre put out a sweet album.
Speaking of new albums, your boy, what about that real quick? Kanye is supposed to have some new shit.
Oh man.
Yeah, y'all want to talk about Kanye.
I mean, I'd be interested to hear. I'm always interested to hear. I don't care about the, you know what I'm saying? It's all about what you put out there musically. That's what I'm doing.
You know what? When you hit that kind of mass superstardom, it's funny how all opinions change. Just like, you know, people, and I'm not saying us, I'm just saying like creatively people look at Kanye, they look at, you know, artists who, but when you really pop, say you really pop, you become Kevin Hart, you become Kanye West, you become, and then it switches. It switches to like Roll Eyes, and I don't like him that much. You know, it always changes to that kind of thing. I'm always. But
even with the Kanye though, I like Kanye, and it's funny because I started to go. It was here when I saw Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I was like, I want to go, and it was like 20, maybe to $50. But then I was like, with Kanye, I don't know what I'm gonna get. I'm not sure what's gonna happen if I pay my money. And true to life, he didn't do nothing that I wouldn't expect. He did it. He played the album, which I heard wasn't even mixed or complete. I don't know. They say I've seen stories where they say he completing it at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But anyway, he did the album. He didn't say a word to the crowd. He didn't say thank y'all for coming out. He didn't say. My family member of mine was telling. He didn't say nothing. He went out there and did what he did and did the dashed around and got hype.
Artist, man, that's an artist.
Yeah,
but you got a sneak peek of the album. That's definitely worth $20 to $50. Like, to me, in my opinion.
It probably was a good crowd. You know what I'm saying? Good crowd of y'all creative.
Oh, it definitely was a good crowd. They came out.
Weirdos was in there, you know.
Mm-hmm. So that's major. Who does that? Who sells out a stadium for a listening party, dog? That's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Hey, respect on that. Yeah, respect on that.
You know what? I don't mean it because I said I was going to jump around on a few things with Dre today, but on the music tip, this is different. But Dre and Harry O, they were seen taking a picture, and Harry O was like, yeah, I'm still connected. And that just had me thinking, like, how would a Death Row or something to that effect look with these two figures and without, another figure? So I'm curious. I'm wondering if some good music would come out of it. Because, Harry O got released through your boy. What's that right there, B?
Einstein always trying to throw some stuff. I don't know what that is. Who is that?
Yeah. That's Einstein for sure. Yeah. Oh, one more thing too. I saw Dre and now there's some positive joints. Dre and Jimmy Iovine about to open a school in Cali. And it's gonna have they're gonna have classes where they'll talk about entrepreneurship and this and this and that. So it'll be more based on real world jobs or I thought that was genius, bro. Like, I think more schools need to have that. Like,
no, the entrepreneurship that hip hop has brought to the black community is it. Is dope to me because we looked at artists, and we probably still look at artists for a lot of things that's not detrimental to the community, but one of the things I think that's been a plus is the entrepreneurship of hip hop. You get what I'm saying? Not much like the violence culture or the certain culture in hip hop.
Yeah,
I listen to that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's an entertainment factor for a lot of us people.
Some people hard, but the entrepreneurship, like people are creating their own businesses, Cash Money, Master P. Salesmanship of different artists. I've always looked at that as a plus. And then people who took the independent road, looking at Jay-Z and certain other artists. Everybody's been inspired by it, especially we got to see something before we be it. But the one thing is being in hip hop, you see so many people going in that direction. Hip hop, but that's what we've seen, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think it's dope though, period, because I've always felt like different kids in school are people who maybe wasn't the best students, but then they went on to be the good mechanic in the hood, or the barber, or maybe even, a good electrician or whatever. Or some of them didn't, and someone went to jail and they sold dope, and they probably had the potential to be any of these things we talking about. And so I really can appreciate when there's school programs that teach. I was just talking to my daughter about this and realizing that they do have it. So shout out to a lot of schools, like even down here, they have a school that teaches cooking, video, movie type stuff, air. Excuse me, I know I can't even think of the actual word. I want to say aeronautics or whatever, flying airplanes, what I'm saying, because Delta's down here. Construction, so they do have that. And that's dope because we didn't have a lot of that personally. I don't know what others,
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So
so shout out to them.
If he doing schools and anything you pass on to others is great. You want to do that, leave a legacy. I mean, you get 800 million. What you gonna do? You got to figure out something to do with all that money. You get what I'm saying? Start some programs for the community and everything else. I respect that. No doubt.
Yeah.
Let's talk on the topic, man. We can get into this a little bit because I think
we lost the fellas. One more though before we get into it. It is getting late. Real quick, D. I had to get D in on this for somebody who maybe Juan even heard of it. How did y'all feel? How you feel about the race to 5'9" and Lupe?
I'm not too deep into it in terms of from what I originally thought. I thought it was like friendly, competition. Wow. It seemed like it's they saying like maybe Royce has some intention. So they didn't really have no real affiliation, but I believe Royce's intentions were pure. But in terms of competition, I thought that I don't want to get into whatever that is. But.
Well, have you seen though? Okay, so put it like this: did you see the whole? Because I didn't even know. I was watching the video where it all jumped off, right? And we might even spoke on this video. The video was dope. Like it was Instagram. What was a live stream or something? And Royce was spitting some game. He was spitting some knowledge, like for real. Like you should go back and watch the live stream. And I noticed even when I watched it, it says something like that escalated quickly or something. And I probably did click it thinking, oh, it's some drama. And then I got to watching and I was like, no, he's spitting gems. He was talking to Guru. He was talking to Guru from Jay-Z's engineer and this and that. So it's like a 2-hour joint or an hour, whatever it was. And I thought all of it, right? So then next thing I know, the disc joints came out and I'm like, wow, where'd that come from? And somebody put up a clip and I saw like, oh, somewhere in that, whatever, that live cast, they got to talking about, because it was all off that battle stuff. He was talking about this man Loaded Lux and, them dudes be killing the battle scene. And I don't know if they was trying to geek it up or what. I missed some of the points, but at the end of the day, Lupe jumped on there and they just got the beef and Royce got the threatening. And I was like, oh.
Who you got? Who would you have? Who would you have in there? Because I don't know the whole deal of it. I gotta watch it because I respect both of them as lyricists.
Hey,
who would
they both
put your money on? Hip hop shop. Who you put your money on?
I mean, for me, listening to it and hearing the whole thing, really, like you say, I'm not gonna even. I mean, hometown Royce gonna always almost get it because he's from the D and because he's super nice and technically and lyrically and. Like I say, you can look up a lyric video of the things he said and what he said and the styles and cadences. He murdered it. Like he put his, so that made his like, yo.
Who are you talking about? You talking about Royce's?
Royce's. Yeah, if you listen to it.
Flyer back up.
But then if you look at Lupe's was kind of, it sounded like he was freestyling. Really, it did, and he was more playful and he was more. Like, I know you gangster, you gonna shoot me up. I'm just, but it was sweet. But it was sweet because Royce beat even that he used was cool, but it was like, I want to say almost playful. So to me, they both, I couldn't say, oh, he killed him, or oh, he killed him. But Royce was very much more technical and serious and this what it is, get it. And Lupe was a little bit more, like I say, free, loose with it, playful. So I don't know.
Lupe was more attacking, like trying to attack his, the whole, oh, look at me, I'm hard, bravado. He was trying to, use that to turn around, what I'm saying? Kind of like what Eminem did in 8 Mile.
And he flipped it because he knew that he was able to, he went second is what I'm trying to say, my bad. So he was able to listen to Royce's verse and how Royce went at it and he flipped his whole verse on.
No, I think Lupe had a verse first.
No, because some of the points Lupe said, maybe Lupe got more than one there because the one I heard, some of the points he said was some of the stuff Royce said specifically. Like Royce said some super real. I mean, not even super real.
I think Lupe drew the first blood, but it was like live on a podcast.
Yeah.
Something about his shirt was off, and was he free?
Yeah, but he wasn't rapping though. This is what I'm saying. I wish I should have pulled the clip up. Me and he's got to get better on pulling the clip up. But they were talking about it, Guru and them, and somebody else was in there, and they was like, "We're gonna pull Lupe."
Was it Joe Budden?
It wasn't Joe Budden. It was Mickey Fax maybe or somebody like that.
Yeah,
they came in. I thought it was gonna be all love. I'm like, oh, Lupe coming in. They got a podcast that's hot. And Lupe came in with his shirt off, and he was heated because maybe what Royce said. Royce was heated. And then they got to talking, and Royce was like, "Hey man, calm your voice down. Who you talking to like that?" And Lupe got hype and hung up or something, and Royce got hype. Royce like, man, like I said, it's crazy. See, the Lord only wanted me to see the good parts because I ain't seen none of that till after the battle. I low-key I was like feeling lifted up by the video. But that part was wild. I was like, that was totally left field from everything else that was on there.
I remember maybe about a week or 2 weeks prior to that, when the initial conversation started ensuing about who did what and everybody landed. It was like all this super PC conversation going around about who was, you do the best at what you do, this and that. And it seemed like the egos wanted to come out, but people were, they were supposed to be friends. Everybody's supposed to be friends. Mickey Fats, all those little, that whole little circle of them supposed to be friends. And then slowly, I guess it just escalated to, what I'm saying? Well, this is what y'all wanted to do in the first place. I mean, I feel like, Royce in particular probably wanted to do it in the first place, like that nerve, that Landon learn shit like that. That was a very skillful display of
it was,
what I'm saying, technical. But I will say this: it all started with all the, I guess something else that he had released previous, and I can't remember what it was, but like a warm up or something with, and everybody's talking about these multi-syllable things or whatever case may be, and who does this and this and that. So I know Elzai for a long time. He's been he studied the patterns and the cadence. But the thing about it is, before people actually, like the people who were nerded out and actually brought that to the light, what I'm saying, people been doing the styles. Not like any of these niggas originated the styles. What I'm saying, Casual had been there, High Roll period. That whole style that they had was the connecting of the last word sounds multiple times, what I'm saying? And I mean, even before Rakim, I mean, it's just done. It's always been done. And it's kind of dope though that people at the top of their game, a person like Royce, who's, kind of treads two worlds, what I'm saying? And like really, I wouldn't even say that. I mean, he's known more globally as far as in the different, not just like the backpack hip hop rock. He kind of crosses a little bit because of his, affiliations and experiences and stuff like that. But what I'm saying? But then have some people talking about, technique and skill in a time where it seemed like to be nowhere, around in hip hop, talking about with the top 100. Nobody, it was real, passe or real old, ways are old, if you will, to be talking about lyrical technique, in today's day where people really weren't doing this. So I thought that was dope. And maybe it would inspire more people to, do
I thought it was the cheat. I thought that was, to me, it looked like a narrative that they was building. Like these dudes all fit the same criteria. Your King Loses, because I've been watching them battle dudes. You know what I'm saying? Lately, I've been into that, and a lot of this is stemming from involvement. I think Royce is involved with it, but he's not battling. But the undertalks, like the Lupes, the Mickey Fact, they're having group chats and they're having these discussions. So the Cassidy, it started with Cassidy, I believe. And like you said about the syllables, and then he said something to the effect of Eminem, and then I guess Royce jumped in. Then somebody brought that up in the conversation to Cassidy. He's like, I don't know why he getting mad at it. So now it became a discussion about this, and then I know they had a podcast, Lupe and Royce, and all of a sudden the group chat that they were having, like Mickey Facts, a couple of battle cats I couldn't remember, and Lupe, they were all talking about best MC, like who do what the best, like you said, and who this and that. And then Mickey Fax was heavy. He had just did a verse real quick. And he was like, I'm trying to show who the best in this group chat. Like, bring it to, I think it was his live or whatever. Yeah, his live, a couple of dudes was on it. And they were talking about, we bringing bars back, man. If it's competition, you know, it's just that, let's show who the best and let's really see then. And he was, you know, that's kind of where it initiated from there. Then it was Lupe and Royce got into it.
Let's branch this into like a topic for today, in the sense of because that does bring out your skills in a sense when you have to battle different people. You get what I'm saying? When you have to, when somebody's calling you to the carpet in a way, it does. So we were going to talk about creative blocks, like when we have our periods where it's not flowing, like whatever we got to do. Maybe we even got projects that we need to finish, but we just don't feel it. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes that it happens. You know, has it ever happened to anybody in this chat? Has anybody ever experienced times when creatively they wanted to do a certain thing, but it wasn't there? They couldn't bring it forth.
Of course.
And I'm talking about music, you know, I'm not talking about your personal, you know, bedroom issues or anything like that.
Hey, were you looking in the mirror when you said that?
Right. But no,
I'll be knocking the bottom out of mine. Ain't that right, sugar?
No, I ain't never had no problems, man.
You can't. I guess you can't never say never.
But no, man, I think to get out of the block, I try to do a little bit of everything. I try to do a lot of researching. I try to get inspired with, you know, maybe get around my guys that do the same music. That's really what I've been trying to do lately. Get around inspiration. You can find it a lot of ways. I found through, you know, research. You know, how you doing your research.
In that space, though, I don't want to cut you off, but have you been in that space? Take us through, like, when you was in a space like that, because I understand that's how you got out of it. But have you been in a space? Somebody brought up Elzai. He was real honest about it. He even wrote an album called Writer's Block, I think. But have you been in that space before, D? Just in general, how long did it last?
I was going through it not too long ago. I have moments. For me, I believe I'm a binger in everything that I do. So for me, my writer's block, I had just moments where I didn't feel creative in a space to write, or just, you know, wanting to do anything in terms of writing. So then I searched for a different avenue to stay creative, and for me, it was beats, and that kind of got me out of the block. So then, in doing something different creatively, that opened up, you know, this avenue over here. So, but I really started to swing more to the other. But I feel they'll all balance out because it'll catch up, because you already had the writing I've been doing forever. I just got used to the beats, but it's inspired me so much that I want to write to it. You know what I mean? So that, you know, that's where the balance.
That's interesting. I was saying that's interesting because that's what I read it once. I think that if you get writer's block or whatever kind of creativity block, then you go to another creative medium. I don't know if any of y'all are writers and you start doodling or something when you can't write, but whatever that is, it can spark. So that back and forth can actually help you stay in a creative space. You know what I'm saying? Because when you're not feeling like writing, you can make a beat. Or if you're a painter, you can draw, you can go digital, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You been there before? You, Chris? You been in this?
Oh, yeah, man. I mean, you know, it was probably some years I didn't even write, or I can't say I don't know if I didn't write or didn't have an ideal, but I didn't do much of nothing. Like if you're not feeling it, or you know what I'm saying, then what can you do? At one point, what can you do? And you realize, even if you have the skills, it's going to take something to spark. Let's say you're a producer. It might be, I know back for us, it's different now. It may be some YouTube files, but you know, we would go get a stack of records and you would thumb through those. Once you would get a new fresh stack, you'd be like, oh man. Or you would go back through what you had again and refresh your mind and listen to some stuff, maybe from a different angle, since it's a different time, and be like, wow, that, I like that. And that could even cause you to jar that block, beat block, writer's block, or anything. But it's got to be something to motivate, you know what I mean, to inspire you, right? It's got to be something to inspire you. That's the truth. It's cheat sheets too. What y'all think about that? How do y'all feel about, like, if you're a writer, let's say, there are things out there, we're going to give up secrets we probably already have before, but like rhyming dictionaries, thesauruses.
I did a lot of research. I researched. I listened more, to maybe some. Steve gave me some good artists, like to go back to, like the Big Daddy Kane, for different things that I was looking for. So I researched, and then just being experimental sometimes. And a big thing, just like my brother Corey always say, repetition. Just get in there and just do it. Just do it. Just do something. So sometimes, like I said, to get that going, it just takes for you to do something different. So
I like that.
I just try everything. I'm not afraid to try something.
Yeah, Corey, one of them hard work type dudes. I can tell he just like, yeah, man, just do it. Just work hard and get. I'd be curious on him because he seemed pretty prolific.
Coach K, Coach C.
He keep it going. I've gone through stages where I think with me, I don't think I lose whatever I need to do. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I lose like the creativity with anything. I just think I get distracted. So I find like it'd be like different distractions that hit, and I'll pay attention to the distractions more than I'll pay attention to the shit that I'm supposed to be doing. And that takes me away from what I'm doing. So say I got different projects. I was always like that wait to the last minute type of dude. And I always felt like sometimes even in the last minute, I come through with some good shit, but that ain't the best way to do everything. Cause there's been times, man, where I just be like, sometimes I look at myself and be like, what the fuck is you doing, Shannon? I'd be doing like, it'd be like a big show, some huge shit. And I'm like, I just practiced something the day before, and I just went up there and I'm freestyling. I'm actually freestyling on something that I probably had months to prepare for and put together, but I just allowed distractions and other shit to kind of just take the wheel. Now, if I can discipline myself to remove distractions and stay within a schedule to get certain shit done, which I even have to do right now, I know my shit gonna be solid. I think one time, the thing is too, like say you got a test when you in school or something, and you pass the test or you do better than everybody, and you like, man, I just did that shit last night. That shit, it works against me. So I've done that so many times that it works against me, because I'd be like, man, I can come through in the last second, and every time it don't work. I've bombed many times based on that, and that ain't cool, because I'm not giving you the best of what I can do, and people looking at it like, yeah, he's not that good, that wasn't that great, and I'm like, yeah, I just came up with that shit on the fly,
Right.
But I'd never tell anybody that. Of course, I'm telling it now, but I wouldn't tell it,
But a good speaker comes from the heart anyway. So like, you might have an outline or know what you want to talk about, but when you coming off the top and coming off, it's not always going to hit that mark. But when you do, like you say, you can create something special based on that emotion and based on you being real. You're not locked into it, and then you're speaking like we talking right now, like straight from the heart. A lot of times that makes the best presentation. But like you said, though, it don't work every time, so that's not something that's gonna.
But the best thing is preparation, man. Some preparation, doing the shit and doing it consistently, like Corey was talking about, like being consistent with it. And that's what's up. That's what's up. That's where you really get the gains too. Like, you really make a career out of shit. You really can, build a following out of shit. Like consistent shit. And you've seen people do it. Like even in the mixtape era, people would drop. I'm like, Styles P is one of the most prolific motherfuckers. That nigga come out with an album every 6 months, and he older now. He's still dropping shit. But I even people in the crew who prolific and come out with stuff. So that consistency, I think, really.
Some people do it too to stay sharp. Like I remember seeing Lil Wayne, and Lil Wayne was saying how when he was coming out with all those mixtapes, and he really started rhyming the way he was rhyming, or whatever the case may be, he was pressing them himself, he said, and doing them for free, because to him it was practice. It was Baby wasn't gonna let him come in the studio and do that, so he was able to like get it out. And I think staying in that zone, yeah, that is important. Whatever you do, if you stay in that zone, you know what I'm saying, you won't lose that skill or whatever. You only get better.
What about you, Iron Man? You ever ran into spots where you was like, man, this shit ain't flowing, I'm whack. How can you do this?
You know what, man? I'm definitely running to block. I mean, I think that's very common. And just like everyone else was saying on the, prior to, it's really just about where you're at, what's going on in life right now. You got different focuses at different times, and then being in the space where you do, you multi, like yourself, you have different, different forms of expression. So whether it's like rhyming and beats, and for a minute I got into trying to learn about shooting videos and whatever, especially during the pandemic. I kind of wanted to get into a lot of stuff, even interior decorating. I got into that, trying to, figure out different, it's different things that, creatively way you can express yourself. So I found instead of hitting the wall back, when I was younger, we were just writing. If you hit the wall from the writing, it was like, okay, what else am I doing? Until I started venturing out to the other things. But beyond beats, like I was telling D, I was like, I think so far to date in 2021, I've wrote one rhyme. I made a ton of beats, but I only wrote one rhyme. That rhyme was pretty goddamn good though, but I only wrote the one.
I see you a number figure though, so I hear you, prophetic mastermind, but that ain't true. Anyway,
you said what? You said I'm a prophetic.
I'm looking at your aura with your background. You know what I'm saying, and your tone. So yeah, come on. But yeah, anyway, that number, you've been on them beats. Yes, you have written a couple of rhymes this year. Well, the point where you only with one, but it's been a couple.
I wrote one rhyme,
and they have been pretty good. The only thing that's been fuzzed in what you just said, which has been a little bit more than one.
One. That's the honest, man. I'll let you hear it.
I tell you this, Chris has been in a zone right now. Like when you in the zone, because you said you just was making beats back to back, and I heard some of them. Shit was dope. And when you in this spot, is it any key? Like, is it any things that you can point to and say, well, this is here, and this is here, and this is what's helping it?
But if I could interrupt before he answer, we have been feeding off one another. Now, Chris may have already been in a space, and I ain't disrespecting him or whatever. But I think, and I speak for myself, but me and Freak have been, in constant dialogue, and in our beat, we had turned out like a lot of beats, and then we start saying, well, let's start setting expectations, like or trying to accomplish some goals, or set a goal, try to reach it. You know what I mean? And that put us in a super space, and then now we starting to send each other and critique, and that's just getting. I know me, you know what I'm saying. It's fired me up, and I can't speak for the man himself, but I know a lot of good music from my side alone, or even in my growth. I know I'm not nowhere near on the level or whatever, but I hear, what we were on, basically that energy that for me, you know what I'm saying, that we was on, and it was dope. Well, Chris, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, feeding off other people's energy. I think staying regular though. Y'all said it. Like, end of the day, anything that prompts you and moves you and motivates you to get up. And then when I do them, like I always say, I always just listen to Kanye said 5 beats a day for 3 summers. And I mean, you're not gonna do 5. Well, but you can sometimes get 5 beats a day though. It might be the same sample or the same drum set, and you did this and did that, but whatever the case, if you can tweak out 3 to 5 and I'm not doing this every day or nothing, but I'm saying when you get a set and you sit down and that's what you're doing, I try to, I'll go and I'll hit a wall. If I can finish it, it might be one, but if I can't finish it, it might be 2 or 3. But that's practice, I guess. You know what I mean? Like you're it's like band practice. You in there playing with it until eventually something dope will come out, and within that too, you'll hone your skills. So yeah, like D said, we've had opportunities to sit there, vibe out, listen to what the other person is doing, get a thought process maybe, or be like, yeah, you know what? Matter of fact, since he doing, I'm gonna try this, and bounce back and forth. And I think too, when you got new sounds, again, that's beautiful. If you got sounds, samples, whatever you're doing, something fresh, something new, something that sparks. Matter of fact, I'm gonna present this to y'all too. What do you think about like when you watch something inspirational? Do you feel like watching something, whether it be a movie, a documentary,
documentaries be getting me.
Mm-hmm.
Like documentaries. I watched that Nina Simone documentary on Netflix.
Oh man,
hype. I watched this new Soul one they got on Hulu.
The one with the one Questlove did.
And that hyped me up. You know what I'm saying? Certain shit like that hype me up because I can look at the performers and I'd be like, listen to these stories, and even verses I hype me up sometimes because they're going back through, people's catalogs and shit. But the one thing is like those things hype me up. The inspiration, even when I hear a good new music, like Jay Electronica was doing it for me for a long time. Like when I hear a new Jay Electronica drop, I'll be inspired to write some shit. But it wouldn't be a song; it'd be like a story or some shit like that. And reading old books and stuff. But what I say, like I know where to go to. It's like garbage in, garbage out. So if I put a bunch of fucking reality TV in, I ain't got no good shit that's coming out of me. But if I'm reading Walter Mosley books and Raymond Carver, and I'm reading watching these documentaries, and I know I'm about to hit you with some shit. And another thing that get me hyped too is, and I know this is negative probably, but when like doubters, like if I got a doubt, like if I hear somebody say some shit that and it sparked me because I'm pretty laid back, pretty humble. So it's when I hear somebody say some shit and try to come at me. That's why I say even like with the Lupe Royce thing, maybe somebody said some shit and they got into it. I don't know.
It was some male ego involved. Yeah, like
but when like say we was in the crew and it was like, yeah, Shannon whack now. He ain't wrote a rhyme in a while. I'd be like, all right, motherfucker. Like I think that sparked D and he got.
Hey, Shannon whack now. Yeah, he ain't wrote a rhyme in a while for real. I don't think you can write no more. You can write stories. Shout out to the new. Check out the new podcast. Right.
I'm gonna hit you. Then I'm gonna be like, okay, well let me go into.
I'm about to call your bluff. Like, yeah, he can't write.
You got to be genuine with it when you really like hit a person, and you be like, okay,
yeah. You know what it is? You got to wait till that person's doing well, and they say it. Like when that person is doing okay, and be like, "Oh man, you ain't hooping no more," and they out here hooping hard. You be like, "Okay, let me get out here and practice. I'm gonna show you."
Yeah, I think that's you wired that way. I think in playing, little sports I played, I think, but I always used to kind of do that. I think I was always like itching for somebody to kind of give me that. It probably,
that push. Mm-hmm. Competition is good, man. And I can remember with my crew AOD, and every weekend, like even our first song, it was a group of guys who knew each other or had a common thread, but we didn't, and it was like a who could have the best first. Our whole sound was dope, but it was built on who could crack each other in the studio. Like, oh, this person verse gonna be hot. 31, I would say that too, though. Like, Juan, D, Bugs, everybody in this room gonna have some heat. I better come with something. You know what I'm saying? So competition and what you surround yourself around too can, in all aspects, can cause you to become better. Period. I think even again, that's what the crew we say would make us legendary, and I think it was that. We used to battle each other. Sean and Beej battles was classic, dog. Sean Mo and Beej battles. I mean, just Juan. I got Juan and Sean Mo. I guess everybody battles Sean Mo. I still got a 4-track with Juan and Sean Mo battling. No bull. Just classic, Bugs battling everybody, calling any and everybody on the phone. And,
I got an ill-ass Sean Mind State battle story with me and him We had one day was me, him. This is a little known fact. It was me, him, and Elzai, and we went. Oh, we went to my mother's house. I was staying with my mother at the time, and we had been out all day. We was just kind of hanging, kicking it, and so Sean was extra. You know how Sean was in drop of a dime. That's battle. You know what I'm saying? That's battle.
Instigated, right?
And so he was like, "L, you be the judge." So L was there to drag. He just got a kick out of it because it was all off the top. It was no premeditated, and we battled for like a good hour or so in my mother's living room.
Yeah, and so man, y'all hilarious.
After that, we had started, and that day we decided to do a group. It never came to fruition, but it was Elzine, Mind State, and me. It was called Super Cold Strangers, and it never came to fruition. You know what I'm saying? But that shit was crazy as fuck, man. I still remember that day, and and it's funny because you look at now, L got the respect of the whole world and the whole hip hop community and shit, and so and he was.
That's a part of it. That's a part of it.
Yeah, exactly.
But he always been the homie though. That's fam right there. Like he always.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like you say, especially. I told the story on the podcast before. Me, him, and Bugs had a track we were supposed to do that just didn't come to fruition. But he always been a man too. Like L.
Mm-hmm.
That's another dude. That's what I'm talking about. If you get on a track with Elzine, you better have a pretty good verse, bro. Like,
that's one of the crew things too. Is and it stick with me personally is the creativity and originality with shit. So like when I create what I create, I don't think in terms of making what somebody, and I don't think we as a crew and in our era of hip hop, you are always looking at, well, how can I come in some different way that's dope? It can't be, not good, but come different and still be like, wow, people that wow your peers in a certain way. So a lot of times with me, what I'll do, like I'll go and listen to old shit. I'll listen to old sermons. I'll listen to old you remember the old tapes people used to have back in the day, like the self-help tapes and stuff. I'll listen to stuff like that. I'll read old 70s books and shit, but I'll be trying to pull something that nobody else is pulling from. Trying to pot. Just like digging for records. Yeah. Like niggas dig for records. You can't dig in the same the record that everybody
bands that everybody in, right?
Somewhere different, and it'd be like, who is that? And they're like, nigga, this is some jazz out of fucking Switzerland, nigga. This is you would never find this,
no doubt.
It'd be like, okay. So if you can find that in whatever you create, it's like finding those gems outside
that. Because it's just like when you think about even Rudy Ray Moore. Remember Eddie Murphy just had that movie Dolomite, and he was even drawing off the old cats who used to get drunk in the alley, the monos, and tell these stories where they were rhyming, like they would story tell. And this is what evolved into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, you're absolutely right. You kind of gotta continue that tradition, man. And I don't know, but I think and another thing too is pushing through though. For us to get off that block,
finishing. Yeah,
I lost the thought for a minute. Yeah, pushing through is very important too, no matter how you feel about it. Going through to the end and seeing it through to the end. And sometimes you get a good, like you said, when you freestyle, so you push through, even though you freestyled it. And sometimes you get a good product, sometimes you don't, but at least you push through to the end, and you can look back and see what you did right, what you did wrong. That's important.
Yeah, that judging mind, it does fuck up everything. Like if you got that judging mind, judging every single thing you do, because it can't. It's just like anything. I like certain authors and stuff. Every book they write wasn't good to me, but I love that author. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, or even in the hip hop, every artist, like I might like, say I like Rakim. Did I like every single Rakim verse? No, I didn't. No. You get what I'm saying? So it's just
or like, every album. It might be an album that you'd be like, I don't rock with this album, but like a Nas. Like Nas is one of the greatest. But you might say, people are likely going to say, I love this album, but I don't too much rock with that, or I didn't really listen to that album.
But that's like an inspiration as well. So it's like, okay, Nas is like, top level at this shit, and he got an album you ain't like. So
Right.
you made a whack song, okay? You get what I'm saying? You had a bad show. You did okay. Pick yourself up.
You got to push through. If you don't push through, then you won't get anything. Yeah, that's real. That's real. So that's probably one of the most important things is to push through, just to continue. But sometimes you got to step away too. You know, I ain't talking like Juan spoke on the story earlier. At least just for your mental health, step away, look at the big picture, and come back, analyze what you did right and wrong. You know what I mean, and then come back at it. But you can't just step away and be defeated, bro. That's life.
No idea. I love that because I love that coming from different directions. I think Juan was talking about even videos and doing other. You know, I love that kind of shit when people kind of go in a different, and you can see other venues that they use and other methods and they're doing something different, but they still hip hop. You get what I'm saying? Right, they still Juan, they still Freak, they still D, they still Shannon, but they doing, you know, it's there too, you know. So I love that kind of shit too. When I see
so many people do that. Like you remember, I'm not you remember, but shout out to Doom, rest in peace to Doom. But I love the way, and it was like I used to watch it all the time, and he drew off those the Marvel comics from the 70s. Like you said, that's something a lot of people never would have thought to tap into. But yo, look how much he drew his whole character, his kind of whole vibe off that inspiration, his skits off that sound, and it made something incredible. You know, so
I tell you, sticking with something too, man. Just like think about MF Doom. Like when you gone, to have a legacy, to have some shit that's gonna last forever. You get what I'm saying, and outlast you. But sticking to it, like when you jumping around, I remember my dad said that you can't jump around, do 20 things at once, and you just jump around. You're gonna be a master of many instead of master of something, doing everything, you know. But yeah, Doom was dope because he stuck with it. I mean, some of them rhymes you'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" But now you listen to him, you like, "Damn, this shit is dope." You know, I've been listening to him a lot more lately.
Yeah. But like I say, just in general, you made a great point too. Just drawing from somewhere. If what you're watching or what you're doing right now ain't moving you, try something completely off the wall, something different, and it might, you know what I mean, motivate you. Just watching that, or listening to that, or going to an art gallery, or doing something that's out there. You know, going to look at nature. Like Shannon like to pick up and go, but it's good though because you come back with a fresh mind every time. Like you know. So
you brought up a good point because that's getting out. Like we talked about that earlier, getting out of that same mindset and just doing some shit that you ain't never done before. And people, I went to some show even when I was in Chicago, and somebody was like, "Man, I looked at that show." I was showing somebody when I was in Chicago. It was like, "Wasn't nobody white folks in the audience." I was like, "Man, if you only see one thing, nigga, you can't do something else." Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know,
what's the problem?
I'm like, yeah, but I'll do the shit here, I do it there, I do it everywhere. But the one thing is, it's like, I like what you just said, like going to do something just way out of there. You know, like what the fuck is Einstein at a botany, you know, some kind of like, you know,
botanical gardens or something.
Garden. Yeah. At a botanical garden getting ideas and shit. They're writing around about flowers and plants.
Doing goat yoga and just some old crazy.
That's what he said he do. That's what he said he did.
Skydiving. We're just saying if you try something different in life, you know, it's gonna pick up and give you, or if you, it'll give you another aspect. It'll give you another outlook. Sometimes.
I agree with that. I mean, like I said, for me, that was the beat. So that I definitely understand that. Mm-hmm. It just operating another side of your brain, I guess, and then it open up everything else for me. You know, that's what I see.
I'm getting the spot.
Like I think, you know, a lot of people, you notice a lot of artists will pick up and go to another country, you know, to another, you know, Jay-Z and them went to Paris, or just catch another vibe somewhere. Maybe
traveling. So now in traveling and seeing other sites other than what I totally agree that that's.
What was that there?
That was me, man. I must have gave feedback. My bad.
Oh, okay. That's all good. What kid say? Channeling energy for a positive outcome. There you go. He put it in words for us just that quick. And Kid right.
That's why he's
I think Kid. Oh yeah, Kid is yeah. I think a Kid too. We was looking at, now this is some old off the wall. Did y'all see Masters of the Universe? That's what we were speaking of.
Funny, because I did put that on. I put that on the
I actually liked it. Some niggas was clowning, but I liked it.
I ain't gonna speak on it because probably everybody haven't seen it. I liked it though. I think it definitely left room for what's next. You know what I mean? The Kid put me up on the Kid sent me that joint and I watched it. Like, okay.
That kind of shit take you back to that era. You know what I'm saying? You start thinking thought when you were a kid in that time.
That's another. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Juan. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it took you to another, another part that you didn't know about. You didn't see. And it was a real. I mean, not to give anything away, but I thought that reaction that she had when she found out, what she found out. But that was a real ass reaction. Like, I motherfuckers do that shit all the time.
Ain't said nothing. Yeah. That was hilarious.
I thought that was real. I thought that was a real ass reaction. You would think it was gonna be all cartoonish, like, oh my god. Yeah. She was like, oh fuck y'all niggas. I'm out.
I'm done.
Oh, this is the Masters of the Universe got some cussing in it and all that?
No. It wasn't cussing, which is her demeanor.
He talking about on Netflix though, but her attitude was like, I'm out. It wasn't like some fluffy, oh, you was him all the time. It was like, oh, y'all ain't told me. I'm the only one ain't in on the secret. Okay, I'm out. I'm out. You're cool.
That's funny. That's funny.
So what?
Go ahead.
No, I said it was interesting. It was good, but again, I think that kind of stuff. It depends on what kind of artist you are. I can draw from fantasy. I like that kind of stuff. Comic books, any of that. You know what I'm saying? It's so interesting what you can get. Like you can listen to blues and get hip hop lyrics because blues and hip hop are so closely related, or even some of the new blues for real.
New blues, like when we talk about the documentaries. I listen to like who I like say your model personality after certain people. Like I love like jazz artists, like different jazz artists and shit. So you like if I watch documentaries and it'd be like Wes Montgomery talking to somebody about something, or Milt Jackson talking in an interview. That shit, man, inspired me like hell, man. Because I'd be like, damn, okay. And then they demeanors and everything as they talking. I'm like, this shit is dope. It really is.
Even James Brown. You can't always understand. But when he really get to talking in the interview, I was like, wow, because I always thought, heck yeah, but then when he really started talking, I was like, man, Muhammad Ali's, just some people who said some prolific. Yeah, so you can definitely draw off of any of that, quotes. You know what I'm saying? They got books with quotes and pearls of wisdom, and you know what I mean? That'll you can make a whole song just based on a quote. The thought process of a quote.
We talk about it a lot, the Bible and reading old books, scripture and all that kind of stuff. That hype you up sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, Bible stories or reading and these be the things that people won't necessarily point to immediately. So say you writing a rhyme and the rhyme got you writing about the story of Job in the rhyme, but you're not using Job in it. You're just writing the story.
Somebody going through trials and having faith, or you take the principle out.
Yeah, or it can be like a small story within that story, and you just using that as an inspiration, but you're not letting everybody know that this is the story. You know what I'm saying? But that's an eternal story, so you're just like you're using that as inspiration for something. That you kill it with that because people are like, okay, it's something more to it. It's just like when you hear them fucking songs that Diddy was doing. Diddy was taking songs that our parents were playing and our grandma was playing, and then we like, I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? And your mother liked it a little bit. Everybody liked it, and we don't know why, but we know why because it's this music we was playing all the time. So he's using that vibe and taking it. But I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. That's definitely, like I say, man.
You played that beat and you said that was and then why was I vibing to it so much? And then you said this was who was that? Keith Washington.
Keith Washington.
Yeah. I'm like,
that's why I know what you're saying because it's something's familiar. It's something familiar about it. whether it's cooking, the music, or whatever. When you hear something familiar, it's something you like, you'll get into it. So I think, yeah, like you say, and that's why even stories though, man, you touched on the Bible, and that's interesting because when you think about it, a lot of stories are just that one arc. Yeah, a lot of stories revolve around that original story arc when it branches out, which, like you say, good, evil, this family versus that, this side versus that. So you can draw from. Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Let's get into the prolific. Like who the prolific folks. We 120 in, so like top 5 prolific, and we always do our top 5 and just throwing out different names and stuff. But I'm curious on your part, who you look at as a prolific artist in general or in hip hop. I'm mostly thinking in hip hop right now, but in general or in hip hop, who.
I'm about to say, let me hear who you got, because I want to see what you mean by prolific. I guess is what I want to say. Like,
okay, so example, I would say Tupac, because Tupac kind of stayed in the studio putting out stuff. I would say Common is a prolific artist.
Work ethic,
yeah, and what he did in music, and then he, switching it over to other things. But I listen to some of his shit that ain't even that popular, and I'll be like, good artist. You can tell he keep his pen sharp. You can tell he keep his pen sharp. Yeah, Loster, you saying about?
Oh, I was low on he checked in just now, but Low is one of them cats where that work ethic is prolific, and he will bang out consistent hits, consistent verses and bars, bro. You can go through his catalog if you think I'm lying. You know what I'm saying?
The other one I say, hip hop wise, Styles P. In my mind, P. He I look for Styles P new projects when he put out shit like every 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like something. He put out a Dave East album.
Yeah, I got that one. That one hot.
Listen to that one all the time. He got a new one out now. He got a song "Time Traveler" on there. I played that probably back to back.
Time Traveler. I might have to check that one out.
Yeah, no doubt. Black
Thought is very consistent, and he just keeps going up. That is, yeah. Black Thought is very much so. Now I'm gonna have to put Redman in that box too, because
he got new shit.
Well, Redman keeps new stuff, but then he stays consistent to me. Like, I mean, maybe some of the albums he's dropped recently weren't as big. And then his hustle, you gotta respect his hustle, because he's still dropping stuff and he's pushing it on his own. Like, he really be in these streets, And he stay writing, he stay with the pen, he stay consistent. So I would honestly, this is just me talking, I would put Redman definitely as one of the more prolific cats. Busta, maybe Busta Rhymes. Oh, E40 though. I'm sorry, I don't care what nobody say. E40 has consistently. He's still putting out stuff though, and it's still banging. Like, he working with any and everybody.
What was this about? What these artists?
We saying top 5 prolific artists. Prolific meaning they continuing. Like we talk about creative blocks and shit, but these people push through. They always dropping new projects, or they consistent in what they gave us. Like they gave us a lot.
I would say Jim Jones.
That new one's out. I might have to put your boy Royce in that basket, because I don't know if y'all, but if you touch a lot of them albums he had, Jay-Z, low, give it up. He right. I don't care what nobody say about Jay. I'm a fan, and Jay, you can grab every last one of them albums, and it has some bangers on them. You might, you know what I mean? Period.
Yeah, that's 25.
Period.
Yep. Then who else? I like Transcend. Ghostface was consistent.
Ghostface was very consistent.
Great addition to this, man. Ghostface still puts out shit, and you want to listen to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And Raekwon as well, but Ghostface had a moment where he was more active, like I'd like Jim Jones to me. And Jim Jones is, starting to get recognition for his penmanship, as opposed to just putting out music or whatever, or just,
this album with the Harry Fraud, him and Harry Fraud. Oh, he was going. Jim Jones was going. He had some heat, and it wasn't just street talk. It was, uplifting the people, the whole nine. Yeah.
I'm writing it down right now.
He active. I be into the YouTube searches and I be trying to stay current and relevant and see what's going on. And I see him moving, and I know he was doing something with the digital platforms and opening it up for people to have different avenues for creativity. But he himself, he like doing all kind of features, and I mean he out here working. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, Conway, he right, but the whole
yeah,
Griselda,
Conway,
all of them, even back with the other, they stay consistent. They stay dropping.
They pretty. Sometimes I don't even understand what they're doing. And I guess it's coming back from that old mixtape era because they just be dropping music. It's just like music after music after music, a new album, And I think about Conway. Conway is the dude right now who I'd be really inspired by, because Conway will talk about shit that people normally wouldn't bring up. And he'll talk about it. You get what I'm saying? And he'll get vulnerable in this shit. And he talk about his kids and you keeping my kids away from me, but fuck it. I'm like,
yeah, he'll go into his life. Yeah.
Well, see, this to me, and you're absolutely right. And those guys, those are, and not to disrespect. So to give them their proper respect, yeah, they working. You know what I'm saying? All of them. You know what I mean? But to me, out of them, I'm more starting to be more impressed with Westside. Like he really, it's one thing for the voice, you know what I mean? Like dope. Some people just can't tolerate it off the rip, but he be going. I mean, he really be going. I done heard him say some stuff.
I would say all of them though. That's why I'm just gonna lump Griselda because they all be consistently back to back to back, and everyone I've heard been, you know what I'm saying? I might even want to. I don't know if I could throw your boy in there yet. He's super hot to me. He got a lot of material. I was gonna say Freddie. I was gonna say Gibbs.
Freddie Gibbs. I mean, he was nominated for the album of the year. So yeah, he getting love.
Gibbs be dropping shit too. It be hitting you. You get what I'm saying? Like we was on that whole talking about Tyler the Creator, and I think he's creative, but I think we brought up some great points because he's made a lot of money, so he's talking about the money, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? I guess he's making that money, but at the same time, more inspired by Gibbs. Like if I was to say that.
Yeah, no doubt. I feel what you're saying though. I feel you. Because it's two different aspects, two different levels. I'm not mad at Tyler to talk about his reality, but yeah.
I think what was I about to say? You said Gangsta Gibbs. Yeah, he been getting a lot of love, and he working. And that goes back to what we were saying earlier with the competition. I feel that everybody thrives off of good music, competitors. So when you hear something, and to me, like within my peers, when we send good music or whatever, that fuels me to, like to want to go in there and do some good music as well. So it's, it's like, it's just a competitive nature. You hear something good and now you want to drop some shit. I'm sure Griselda camp is feeding off that. I'm sure.
What about guys like Kid Cudi?
Like who?
Like Kid Cudi. Y'all
I mess with Kid Cudi. I like his music.
I think he's cool, but I couldn't put him in that space. That's just me. No disrespect to Cudi. I think he got some heat. I like what he do, but I don't know if I could put him in that prolific space. You know what I mean? Because I don't like.
I think I've had a couple of up and down moments with him. I followed his albums and whatnot, and I like his music, but I've had up and down albums. You know what I mean? So prolific, dope. I would, he's definitely dope, but consistent. If we're talking. When I say consistent, these dudes' albums, they stayed, popping, stayed doing good music, you know what I mean?
You know who I wish would have stayed around, and it was unfortunate, is but Mac Miller.
Mac Miller was good.
Mac Miller like that, but then I started listening to him after he passed, and I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? I was listening to his album. I was like, okay, he going somewhere.
Yeah, so I hate to admit, I don't even hate to admit, I keep it real. I got up on him through my daughters because they loved Ariana Grande at the time. And he had a song, I think he dated her too, but he had a song with her with the one beat on it they used to play. And I'm like, oh, this dude can flow. So then he got a song with Anderson .Paak that goes stupid hard. And then just all of his material, his whole catalog, man, that's what I'm talking about. You can look at his catalog and say, yeah, I like what he do. I can put on an album and let it go. You know what I mean? What about your boy though? We just spoke on him. I'm gonna throw Kanye in there. Crazy E. But when you think about each album, I was just looking for the new one and it ain't out or whatever. I just probably went on Apple Music, search for it, whatever. And then I was looking at the other albums though, like it had his discography. And I'm like, yeah, he has some heat as I'm looking at the albums and looking at the songs. Mm-hmm.
And you think about all the shit he got going on. So it's a lot of other shit he has going on. So to be able to, and I know these people had teams and they do, you know, shit that we don't know. They got teams of people working and shit like that. But at the same time, Kanye has been one of them dudes to be able to bring new shit out and to kind of almost like people are waiting to see where he takes shit. And all this shit don't really sway everybody and turn people. I don't think that album, Yay, even though I liked it and Kids See Ghost or whatever, I like both of those albums, but sometimes he can kind of like shift the whole mood, like a whole, you know, crowd going a certain direction.
Yeah,
with this new shit he do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what I'm saying. But just inconsistency, because even like I can remember even back to, I wasn't really feeling them on the 808s and Heartbreaks, but as I look back, it had some heat on it.
That shit shifted music in a sense.
Yeah, it had some heat. So even I wasn't a big fan of the Pablo joint, but then there was like a song or two that was like, okay, I used to like the No More Parties in LA or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think production wise and all that, he definitely, you know.
Right up front, Kids See Ghosts. I listened to that shit back to back. I was driving to DC and I listened to it like back to back to back. It's
hard. It's got some heat on it.
I sat in the backyard. I was listening to it, me and my daughter. So you could play it and you could feel like, you know, it ain't gonna be a lot of crazy shit on it. He gonna cuss a little bit, but I
don't know if that's true, because I stopped playing it too, because I used to play the sometimes what do you say? Like, I want to kill myself and I love myself. So, you know, my son saying the words with it, I'm like, I don't know. Kanye do be kind of wild. But you know, but at the end of the day though, like you said, it was a solid album. Like even that song, as crazy as it was, he was like, and I love myself. So
but what he's a marketing genius.
Yeah.
So I mean, he got that down to a T. So he got the people eating at the palm of his hand. So he understands that and he just manipulates that. Like even in looking at what he did for the listening party, I mean, like, yeah, he just unorthodox. You know what I'm saying? He just
that unpredictability. You think
one of them? Yeah,
that? We don't know what he gonna do next. We don't know what he gonna do next.
But people love it. I mean, he's in the conversation of his mentor, you know, Jay-Z, you know, in terms of financial stat, you know, like he is a billionaire, you know what I mean? Like off of what he was telling people all along that he was, you know, trying to come out with and create or whatever. But, you know, and I mean, he
stayed in his zone too. I could appreciate that. He stayed in his zone. He stayed in his pocket. He don't try to be outside.
It's all promotion. It's all promoting that he the best at the fashion, you know what I'm saying? And he the best at, you know, that music and the, you know, presentation.
People getting fed up with his arrogance, though. I will say that.
Uber arrogant with it, you know.
That's what I'm about to say. That's what people are getting fed up. Like
you gotta have that confidence in us, because I would even like to see that more with us, like crew wise in Detroit hip hop and certain shit. Like I just like to see some people just do some. Like I've told people, I'd be like, why don't you do like a stage play or do like a show, like a, you know, like a reoccur, like people just to do shit, like to do something just out of the box type shit that you ain't asking for no approval on it, and you just like, motherfucker just start a installation at a museum and they just flowing, you know, they still, you know, or doing whatever they do. You get what I'm saying? But see, and even if 5 people show up, who gives a fuck? And that 5 turn to 50, and you know, but I can see Kanye in those kind of, it's kind of like that confidence to know that I'm doing some art right here and this is the shit I'm doing. And I'm not looking for approval from peers. I just want to put this shit out. So I have even thought about doing certain shit. I would be like, I'm gonna just go to do this thing at this place and just sit behind a desk and do some shit. And if nobody show up, I'm just gonna do, you know, just be like some artsy type shit. And yeah, but I can see Kanye West, but he knows how to promote it where it feels
where somebody will show up, where to fill up a room.
Yeah.
He knows how to take that same concept you have and make people show up. Because like I say, a lot of people were offended. They felt that was arrogant because, I mean, he didn't say a word. Ivo, what up, my brother? Appreciate it. But he didn't say a word. Like, I don't know. I guess that's hot. But is it? Like, it's like it would have been more intimate. It could have been a little. And even though you can't touch everybody, you can thank y'all for coming out. You know, this is, I mean, they say he's just.
But if you think about a fashion show, right? A fashion show, them models, they fierce. They ain't saying nothing. They just boom, 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 and you know what I'm saying, they out. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it. When I seen the red, you know, the whole setup with that.
Right.
I think that's, you know, that's that whole vibe. That's like, I think he's promoting. That's probably the Gap Yeezy jacket. You know what I mean? So it's all marketing.
IB-Roll, what up, bro? But you're right though. That's my point. It's all marketing. And like you say, the impact, like Ease is saying too, the impact in music. So who knows? 50 years down the line, kids will be looking back like, oh, look at Kanye. He did this concert and he was just by himself. And they may love it. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be. It may go down as a piece of art, like a piece.
Like I said, he's a genius, dog. All of it is still working. Like negative, positive. Like they didn't
crazy.
For his process, all his ups and his downs. We still
snatched Taylor Swift, the whitest white girl in America, that jumped up on stage and interrupted us. So yeah, you're right. You're right.
We still tuned in.
I like that. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe to the 31 Forever podcast on YouTube, like the page on Facebook. Make sure you do that. Do that right now. Whoever in here or whoever watching it later, like the page and subscribe.
We got to get Brow. Brow coming.
Yes, sir.
We got to get Brow. I definitely want to hear that story. That's the man right there. Hit that. I thought he was saying hit that like hit it like what? How we supposed to hit it?
No, he just reminded me to say that too. I gotta always say that. We should always be saying that, making sure people
say hit that like button.
Hit that like button.
I just appreciate it. Schooling us.
Like I was like, I want to get my social media going. I had to mention it on my shit because I be forgetting. You know what I'm saying? Follow this, follow that.
You got a new podcast out. Matter of fact, now that while we talking about it.
Yeah, Homemade Stories. Go check out the new podcast, Big and Heavy. I'm talking about moving to the east side. I'm on the east side of Detroit now. But this is good conversation, man. Good conversation, no doubts. No doubt.
Yeah, when can we check that? That's a anytime kind of thing.
Yeah, just Spotify put in Shannon Cason and it'll pop up. If you put in my name on Spotify, it'll pop up, and I got 114.
What if I don't got Spotify though? Come on.
You go on Apple Podcasts or you go
on platform.
Yeah, Google Podcasts or whatever you use. I don't know. You know, any podcast there, it's gonna be there. Yeah. Yeah. Or ShannonCason.com. ShannonCason.com got it too. Yeah. So thanks for the plugs there. Thanks for all the plugs. I appreciate it.
That's what it's about though, man. That's what That's what this is, you know.
No, that's right. There you go. Get them, Deacon.
Get them. That ain't me. That's Lance putting us up on game.
Any last words?
Hey, shout out to Lance. Shout out to Kid. That's family. We trying to get y'all on here, man. Stop being a Karsten. We'll talk. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Or Kid. I'm sorry.
In his due time. In his due time.
Open forum for all the crew, man. We come in here, we just kick it. You know, we spend a lot of time in our own spaces, but this is the internet now. We can get together anytime, no matter where we at. So phones, computers.
Yeah. On air, off air too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gotta be on air. You know what I'm saying?
Like normally this conversation, we having a backstage convo right now with the world. But it's cool though. It's cool though. It's cool though, but normally even after the show, we be back here talking that trash.
Exactly.
I know, bro. I'm talking about. He said he everywhere these days. I noticed you did that. I don't know what it was, but I saw the pics. Pictures was incredible. The show looked like it was incredible, bro. Every time I look up, I see you shooting film, shooting videos. So shout out to that guy.
Yeah, shout out to Spot too. He been on it right with my man. You know what I'm saying?
Go to Gmail.
Where too.
LanceSingle@gmail. Get at them. You need videos. You need pictures. You need beats.
I'm gonna put you in the list. You know, log in anytime if you got time. Tuesdays at 9. We go keep it going. Keep it going.
Hey, yo, he got a hot single out right now too. You might have to type it. I don't know the name, but he got a banger. He got a banger. He got bangers, period. But I like that. I like that one that's currently circulating.
Yeah, that's family right there. That's family.
Oh, that's 31. That's true. Yeah. Zoom list, baby.
Listen to it.
Yeah, but yeah, man, it's like I said, them Jim Jones. I wanted to bring that out. It was a couple other guys. We said Conway. We got to give them that credit. Griselda dudes, they consistent. It was another. You know who else, man? I was just listening to was pretty consistent. But I'm hesitant to say his name because it's been a minute for him, and that's funny. Kendrick Lamar and the TDE boys, Schoolboy Q. People don't really talk about Schoolboy Q, but he dope.
Schoolboy Q is dope. He's very consistent. He's only 2 or 3 albums, but all 3 of them albums have been bananas to me. Like out of TDE, he's my favorite. No disrespect to nobody else.
Yeah, he was growing on me pretty heavy. I like Kendrick a lot, but I like my man's vibe or whatever. You know?
Okay, so you saying that, right? And me respecting your taste. I'm a vibe into Schoolboy Q. I mean, I've listened to his hit singles, you know, when he had his songs, but I never really listened to him. So
listen to this last album he just had out with that Num Juice. And
I just let that shit play, and I listen to albums like back to back to back to back. You know, I just play that like I was playing Brain Trust like that for the longest. You know what I'm saying? But I just let whatever it is vibe. So you saying that? I'm gonna go into a Schoolboy Q vibe because I respect him. I never did that with Schoolboy Q.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, he hard.
I like his whole thing. He got everything you want to hear.
Yeah, he got style, he got flow, he got beats.
You know? He a little rougher edge, you know what I'm saying? But he got style. I like his energy.
Like even you saying Jim Jones, I never vibed into Jim Jones. I never.
A lot of people say that. That's where I want to give.
I just knew his hit songs. I ain't really listened to his whole project just totally through. I never get that.
It was it's another dude. I'm trying to think another crew. It was another one like that. Ghostface, for instance. Ghostface wasn't anybody's favorite, but at a time where Wu-Tang wasn't maybe doing nothing, Ghostface was very consistent. Jim Jones held Dipset down for when the time that Jewels wasn't around and he kept their name buzzing. You know what I'm saying? Jim Jones did that, and he wasn't even a rapper originally. If you go back and listen to start with like Summer in Miami, you know what I mean? I think that was the name, or Harlem Nights or something. Jim Jones been consistently. I like any rapper. Like I give it to Jeezy's, the Rick Ross. They started one way.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But you hear their progression from the work that they putting in. You know what I mean, and the attention to detail in their craft. Jim Jones is leaps and bounds. I mean, he's debatably the best dude right now.
Right now. This is what I'm talking about right here. Yeah, that's what we need to get it up, man.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Run it up. We're gonna run it up.
I'm gonna be on that, man. Jim Jones and Schoolboy Q is on my list now, and I agree with you, man. I agree with you. You know,
I'm like you though. I haven't listened to all of Jim Jones. I'm gonna keep it trail like everything, but this last one is called The Fraud Department or something. Jim Jones, a hairy fraud. I would say
the album before that, El Chapo.
El Chapo was hard too. My bad. El Chapo was. Oh, can we also say? I'm gonna have to say. I know D-Nam don't agree with this, but I'm gonna throw it out there. Noriega stayed consistent.
Nori stayed consistent. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay, I never Nori annoyed me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I listen to the little Nori sometimes.
Nori annoyed me, but he held down his man. Like he blew up while Capone was gone. You know what I mean? Capone might have been the artist, but he held it down for them dudes.
Like this is what I'm talking about too when I talk about podcasting and everything. Like Nori, personality wise, you can't beat him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt.
Personality that come in the room and you draw all the energy. You know what I'm saying? He just
no doubt.
He's energetic, and his attitude, people gonna like him, and he ain't no pushover, so that's kind of interesting. You know what I'm saying? So I've always respected Nori.
But musically though, if you dive into those albums, even if you're not, you know how I'm gonna tell y'all honestly, like I no disrespect to the man, but I was not a T.I. fan at all. And I think like my little sister left a CD in my car or something, and I listened to it, and it was great. He had good CDs. Like every song was, you know what I'm saying, or each song, the beats was good. And Nori's kind of that kind of dude. Like you listen to the whole, there's gonna be some stuff you're gonna want to skip over, but you're gonna get a lot of bangers.
Shep be throwing at me sometimes too. Shep had me in the Currency mode. I was listening to Currency a lot.
Yeah, Shep put me on. What's my man who just put out the Haitian? We spoke on him recently too, but he put out the Mock Hami. Shep put me up. I had no idea, never heard of this dude. Then when I heard it, I was like, oh yeah, he's fire. Like,
I tell you another consistent cat, you know, low key underground to some Evidence.
Evidence. He got a new joint out. You heard the new one?
Yeah,
the new one is hot. And then he got one with Evidence and Alchemist got an album out, man. It's not new. It's probably a couple years old, but one of my favorites.
Let's cap it, man. We at 146. I think this might be the longest episode.
The longest ever.
I don't think it's the longest. We had a couple long ones.
Yeah. But much respect. I'm E apostrophe.
Appreciate everybody.
Cason, peace out. What's any last words from y'all?
Peace and love, fellas. Let's keep working. Let's keep the vibes going. Enjoy what we're doing. We growing.
Yeah, let's keep the creative juices flowing. Let's push through any of these blocks that we might have, man, and let's get this good music out here. Let's stop sitting on it and let the world judge. Like we said, that's really what you got to do, good or bad. Give it to the world to be judged and keep it moving.
True.
Peace out. Subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and tune in every Tuesday, 9:00, and join us. All right, peace.
Peace. On.